Hey ladies and gentlemen, George here, and what I'd like to do is a little channel review or channel update, perhaps a life update. Take it as you wish. It's an update. Um, so first I'm going to just go over some of the games that I'm playing. Um, I'll play 6 days, 6 days, 6 nights a week. Should start cutting down. But there are breaks in between, so it's not that bad. You know, I gotta take a couple of breaks myself, take a vacation. Guys, just a little bit of cold sparkling water. It's 28 degrees out there. I don't know how much that is in Fahrenheit. It's around the 80s, 75. I don't know. Anywho, let's start with Sunday night where I play against Monty, the Lone Ranger, or the Texas Ranger. So we're getting our feet wet with early battles. Eventually, the fellow will lose his virginity and get into advanced warrior, more or less. Uh, Baptism of Fire is the advanced squad leader starter kit modules 1 to 3. I'm not too sure if I'm going to go on to 4. I don't have 4, so we'll just have to bare knuckle it and go into Beyond Valor and a couple of other uh, good old scenarios that I own. So this is early battles, and I've been playing it quite a bit. Um, let's see. Let's pick a color for the Germans, and it is. So I'm playing the Germans this time around. I'm using smoke very effectively. Swing around here. How come I can't pick blue? Come on, boys. There you go. Swing around rather effectively, just like so. So there's been an update with my video driver, and I freed up my hard drive. So the speed might be a little bit better. And trying to circle back there, except we got some difficulty here with moused guns. And we're just basically using them as mounted machine gun carriers at this point in time. Can't go for repairs. We've already gotten 2 down. Well, we can go for repairs. Um, Everything here is running away. These units here managed to rally, unfortunately. So, very close game, but I'm not too sure if I can win it, because we're down to 2 player turns left. So it's going to be a bit difficult, but enjoyable just the same. So that's Sunday night. Let's go on to Tuesday night. So here's the Tuesday night scenario, and I am playing now the Russians. So let's do red for the Russians. There we go. So we have a couple of troops here that are defending the left flank. We have a pillbox here that literally lost a gun to a mouth. We have some reserves here, and the point is for the Germans to take all 7 hills here. That's the victory objective right there, right? So we're mounting. My opponent is mounting a very effective right hook. However, it will be very challenging to get the crews out of those pillboxes. I'm not giving up. He did use um, an effective smoke barrage where he laid down smoke 9 hexes like so, because there is an offboard observer with a pre-designated hex. However, I've been reading the rules, and that barrage has to be parallel to the observer's post. So I don't know yet where the observer was, but let's say he was here. That smoke barrage, in order to be uh, parallel and not perpendicular, would have to have been like this. But I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that Dean, the Italian stallion, as I like to call him, did do his homework properly. But we'll see how everything turns out. And we did agree that we will switch sides, and we always do. I like switching sides and playing both sides to every scenario. All right, let's get ready for the Tuesday night being played by the real Santa Claus, Alain Chabot. And here is something from Into the Rubble 20. Let's clean up the board here. Click on that trash can. Holy Moses, look at this. Look at this. The scenario just begun, and the objective here for the Americans, let's pick a green color for the Americans, light green, is to clear out this area here, as you see it here, right there, cleaning them out, right? And they have to get through thick and thin. And so far, what it looks like is that I preoccupied his left flank. One fellow came here, became berserk. Actually, two Japanese units became berserk. He jumped into close combat into the same hex as him. Here's the American berserker, and we had a Japanese berserker in close combat. He withstood the attack from 666. He withstood the attack from the armored fighting vehicle. A couple of units here, and a couple of units there, and what have you there. Ultimately, in close combat, guess who prevailed? The Japanese did. Here we knocked out one of his armored fighting vehicles. Here there's one that is mouthed. Open top armored fighting vehicles, and in close terrain are very precarious to use. However, there is an opportunity for him to advance into here and start trying to clear out the Japanese, and if he can muster enough courage, he can try and bust through here. It's going to be very precarious because, take a look, there's no clear path to the city here, right? There is none. This is the clear path. More to come about this. I'm going to do an after-action report. That is Tuesday night. Wednesday night. Wednesday night with Ken Rodkowski. This fellow has proven to me that he's not an altar boy. He's a fine Catholic gentleman, very God-fearing, and but he is no altar boy. Let me tell you, when he gets mad, and when he gets mean, he really dishes out and lashes out quite a lashing. So here's what the situation looks like. We're playing Winter Melee. This is U-27. Let's zoom in on the map here. Okay, as you can see, he ain't giving up. The Germans have been literally overrun. Here's the Alamo right there. See the Alamo? Let's put blue for German so it can stand out. Where the heck is the... There we go. Let's hope it's blue. Come on, blue. Good. So here's the Alamo. Right there. And the Soviets are advancing from every direction. Right on to the map board. So what turn is it? Turn. Let's clean up the board here. We still have 5 turns left. Plenty of people have been taken as prisoner. I'm pretty sure we're going to switch sides. But you never know what can arise. And the difficulty about playing this scenario is that first, keeping track of how many partisans have been eliminated, because the partisans, once they reach a certain amount of good order units, they have to recuse themselves of the battle and retreat back. Tonight, I'm slightly confident that I can win. Slightly confident because there's a lot of good order leaders here. He is in protective terrain, and it's not going to be a pushover. Here we got some folks that are in melee. We were not able to resolve these attacks, and the more you throw into a melee, the more chances you have of outright being eliminated. Let's go into Thursday. Thursday, we started Tavernitas Bridge, and as soon as we started, I noticed my blunder right off the bat. Apart from not picking good landing zones and saying, "Ooh, wow," I thought I would be doing a point attack like I was with on Bald Hill with the Stukas. No, no, no. You actually put them in the intended landing hex. Two squads were outright eliminated. One was half squatted, and I do have a good assault group coming in here. Let's put blue for the Germans again. Already, at least a third of the scenario is gone. So I do have a fair amount of Germans advancing here cautiously. Here we got some mortars, but again, all these troops abandoned the position. They're going after a lonely half squad. How's this guy going to make it across and support this position? Ain't going to happen. We have to literally do a little a little love triangle here, kind of. See, so what I'm saying is that all right, knock this group out and then advance across the bridge somehow, or like this, and knock out these guys. So these guys kind of made it because of my initial blunder of landing, um, not landing where we should land. You know, with gliders and the nature of this stuff, the nature of the scenario, um, how you attack will this be the determinant factor whether you win or lose towards the end. And this scenario is pretty important because um, of another topic I want to talk to you about with respect to squad leader. It's important because on the scenario card, it does give you a depiction that the Germans had a um, a milk run. However, that was not the case, and if you read both sides of the story, and in particular the history of the 22nd New Zealand Battalion, you'll see that um, the Germans failed actually to um, eliminate the the British as soon as they had landed. As a matter of fact, the Germans were believed to have been defeated and were expecting to be wiped out that evening. However, due to miscommunication um, in the Allied forces, the British thought that they had to retreat. They gave up the position, and then the Germans occupied it in the morning, and then the Allies could not effectively counterattack and retake the position. So I don't think that squad leader does a good job at flattering one side and not the other. Um, Let that be on the record. And then Friday night, it's back to Bald Hill again with the ferocious Dennis Freeberg. And I'm not going to show you the same more or less picture as before. So, second topic I want to talk about is I noticed this because of Facebook or YouTube. Let me take you to the YouTube page. So this is um, David Garvin's YouTube channel, and he does mostly squad leader. I'm pretty sure he's preoccupied with world events and being a commander in the Canadian Forces isn't an easy task. So uh, I'm not too sure how much time he has on his hands these days with that fellow Turkey, what's his name, Putin going nuts. But anywho, Here he did an overview of the hassles. And he has a great collection of hassles. And when he came as a tournament director to Montreal, he brought his kit, which was a big suitcase, and he lent us the counters that we needed. We gave it back to him so we can play our game. I had played a hassle, Hatton in Flames, I believe, and he gave us a little uh, half track that was missing. And guess what? Guess what I see here? Horrido 666. All nationalities in the game have their own unique color, except for one organization, the SS. You make of that what you will, but it is absolutely special treatment. You give a color to some to a particular unit, and you call that flattering. I wear black. We all wear black. Black is a safe color to wear because it's washable. It doesn't stain as easily. I like my little black hat because it keeps my my head warm. Just because I have this symbol doesn't make me a Nazi. It makes me a fan of Las Vegas, or what it used to be before Oakland. Nothing more than that. And I still root for other teams as well. Now, the rules for SS are not different enough to warrant a separate color. There's ethnic traits across every every nationality, every nationality, and as for the armaments as well, they kind of reflect the way they were used by each nationality and their special purposes for each and every nationality. So there is a lot of distinction between different forces in Advanced Squad Leader, whereas that distinction isn't so clear in other games. And as a matter of fact, I would say it's more combat resolution and how each type of unit fights in other war games is quite more random and not constrained to any parameters in other games than it is in Advanced Squad Leader. In fact, in full ASL, the SS are glorified like they were in A Bridge Too Far. I wouldn't say they were. And if you take a look at the evolution of the game, we have the first game with a depiction of a German unit or German units, and every subsequent game had a Russian, a British, an American, and within those modules, you had Allied miners, Greeks, Poles, and what have you. Now, you defend your position all you want, but be aware, you are revealing a side of yourself you may want to keep private. During post-World War II, there has been a distortion of German performance in World War II in general, primarily as propaganda tool against the USSR. To ignore that fact, to ignore the fact that SL was designed during this period is purposely being ignorant. Now, who is really being ignorant? This fellow has never broken bread with David Garvin. I went to lunch with David Garvin. We broke bread. We had a lunch together. David has had relatives die in battle combating the bad guys. Okay? I've had people, close relatives, executed by Nazis. And playing ASL makes me a bad guy? You gotta be kidding. Now, let's follow through with Advanced Squad Leader. There's another bright fellow by the name of Charles Hammond, and I call him a bright fellow because he's a professor in the German language. I called him, he likes to be called Chuck, but I called him Dr. Hammond out of respect. The question he asked, unaware that this is controversial, is, will MFP ever reissue the enlarged black SS counters? SS as in the Waffen SS. You gotta be able to distinguish the Marines from the Army from the Navy somehow. Usually, even in NATO symbols, the enemy has red and the good guys or the allies have blue. Color is meant to distinguish and differentiate between units. It doesn't glorify anybody. As a matter of fact, one side of these counters in the original game where they first appeared in Cross of Iron also had them in pink. So, uh, what was the comment there? Well, the question was, will MMP ever reissue the enlarged black SS counters? And Kurt Schilling, to this effect, said no. I like Kurt. He's down to the point. I wish my prime minister was like Kurt as well. Yes or no? What's the story? Well, we shouldn't expect it to be republished by MMP. There are other providers of counters. I would go as far as saying, you know what, you want your own counters? Make them yourself. Or, alternatively, the other thing you can do is take 6mm miniatures and build your own units. Simple as that. I'm worried about war games and war games in general. The reason why I'm worried is because with present technology, more and more it appears that print is going to go the way of the dinosaur. Now, don't take my word for it. Where I last heard that was by sitting next to a very smart fellow who had started his own company and about hours out by the name of John Barron. He was in charge of CS Creative Solutions and actually brought it to fruition. And he turned to my boss and said, you know, print is going to go the way of the dinosaurs. And more, you'll see that there are fewer and fewer print shops around to print things. Paper, it's becoming obsolete. Cardboard, too. How many of you get your bills in paper these days? Very few companies issue bills and paper statements anymore. It's the same thing with board games. So it's sad to hear that they won't consider that. However, there are third-party providers that do provide some reasonable and more graphical counters that depict actual uniforms and whatnot. I think I have a few on the side here from George Kelly and his outfit. Oh well, enough said. Guys, I hope you keep sane and keep rolling low, and I hope you enjoyed my little rants. I hope to bring to you a couple more videos throughout the year. And I was talking to my son. My son is my creative creator with respect to this YouTube channel. And he said, Dad, you know what's the problem with most creators and influencers? I told him, what, son? And he turned around and said, they eventually run out of content. Now, I can go through the rulebook page by page. It ain't going to do me well, but I have a plan. And the plan is, look, if I really don't have any content to provide to you, either I won't do a video in that particular week. If you have nothing good to say, don't say it at all. Or I can provide you with a 45-minute example of play, pick a particular scenario, and I start at a particular turn, roll the camera for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and there it goes. Yeah. So that's all I had to say. And again, keep it real, folks. Keep it real. If you have any thoughts, respectfully put them in the comments below. And have a great week ahead. Drink some water. Be kind. Take care.